Let's go, my fellow Brocksexuals. We are getting absolutely abused after Brock Purdy just laid an egg versus the Kansas City Chiefs. How bad was it? Well, let's have an honest conversation about it. All right, we got the deep over route off play action, and this ball was just telegraphed the entire way, okay? We have a deep over coming from what looks to be George Kittle on the backside, and the safety just sees Brock looking at it pretty much the entire time. He makes a really good play on it after George Karlaftis gets a lot of pressure, and he's just sitting there waiting for it. Obviously, it looks like this go ball right here to Brandon Aiyuk would have been the better option, but it gets picked off by a really good player, Reed, and man, you start things off with a surrender cobra from your own sideline. All right, so I'm not going to show you this play a little bit later because it is so painful. I'm a big Brandon Aiyuk fan, but man, just a weird season for Brandon up to this point. He catches his football, slips a little bit, but he does make Reed miss. That's a good job by Brock getting that football underneath and playing quick. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and 6, and the 49ers do line up in trips bunch over here, and Brock Purdy throws one of the ugliest passes I think we have ever seen, okay? Pocket is really clean, and what I think happens here is Brock Purdy pre-snap determined that he was going to throw to the guy behind the bunch, right? Because this is normally open when there's a lot of traffic that the defenders have to sort out. So Brock Purdy predetermines that he's throwing this football here to Brandon Aiyuk. It does take him a little while to get out of this. So the timing of the drop and this route is just off. And you'll see Brock, normally if a ball just dips down like this, it's because he puts too much weight on that front leg. Posture looks to be a little weird, so I don't really know. It's kind of tough for me to see right there. But this ball actually lands right here, and it looks like Brock was thinking that Aiyuk was stopping. And normally that is what's run behind a trips bunch, is that this player just stops right here, and Brock just throws his football right into the ground. And as you'll see, if he would have gone to George Kittle right here, it probably would have been a better option. It's just ugly 3rd down football. All right, so 3rd down, obviously in the first half of this game was just brutal. And this time Brock plays some ridiculous level of quarterback right here. I did not say that smoothly at all. Of course, Trent Williams has this guy dominated. It did help that Jordan Mason was getting chipped. And as you can see, this pocket is, for the most part, pretty good. And Brock throws an absolute dime. Now, obviously, Pearsall could have been an option here, but he does make the right decision to throw this football to Brandon Aiyuk. And I want you to see what Brandon does here. This is really good wide receiver play. You'll see at the top of your screen right here, watch him do a rip move. This is actually something that pass rushers do. He gets that right arm underneath this defender to get a leverage advantage, and Brock sees it. Good base, good form, all of it, and throws with perfect touch right here. And Brandon is not only catching this, he's running for a lot of yards afterwards, but he drops it, okay? Just. All right, so it's 1st and Oakland here, and I do want to point this out for the 49er fans, because there are a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans that have gotten on me about calling out this penalty right here from Trent Williams, okay? Now, they never do call this, but I want you to see Trent Williams' helmet. It's at the very least needing to be at the butt pad of the center. Now, this photo isn't directly down the line, so it could just be the angle, but this should be a penalty. Either way, this is a Brock Purdy film study, and Trent Williams is still that dude. All right, so on this 1st and forever, Brock Purdy gets a really good pocket, throws an absolute dime right here to his guy George Kittle. Bang! Look at that beautiful bean footage, and George Kittle gets tackled low, and he picks up the 1st down. Okay, so we get to 3rd and 12, and I'm actually going to call Brock out on some toughness. Okay, so we want this football to be coming out quick. Kansas City brings what they're known for, slot corner pressures, and they're backing out not only Leo Chenal, but they actually have the DT guarding Kyle Juszczyk here in the flat. So if you hit this is a big gainer. You hit a quick out, this is a big gainer. So if you see blitz, right, let's immediately work the quick outs. Now, it looks like there is a cloud corner over here that could be jumping all over this out. Well, no, he would have to stay with the vertical. I'll go look at the all-22 in a second. And right here, you'll see that Brock flinches, right? Step into this throw, all right? He flinches to not take the brunt of the hit, all right? Once again, if you're hitting this is a huge gainer for a first down. And, if he sits in there maybe just a little bit longer, I understand he's trying to get this ball out quickly so he can also not make sure that his arm gets deflected. And, of course, he's taking big hits on blitzes, Eagles game, of course, to hurt his ribs. So I get wanting to protect yourself. But, man, that would have been an absolutely huge throw right there. All right, so it's 3rd and medium. We move ahead here. It's still 14-3. This is really good stuff from Brock Purdy and George Kittle. So you had the motion here. And this is kind of an awkward guard for this safety in man coverage because you have a guy coming deeper out of the break, and you're probably not thinking he's going to be running a go. He also has his traffic to get through with Brandon Aiyuk. So Brock sees that he likes that matchup. He steps up into the pocket to find just a little bit of space. And look at what he does here to George Kittle. Kittle, of course, has a step. And the thing is, he had to wait for it. If you lead him, he's probably gaining an extra 20 or so yards. He picks up a huge gain. So good job by Brock. Could have been a better throw. And obviously, this is just sad stuff. I won't show the end of this play like we said a little bit earlier. But, man, finally Brock and Brandon get on the same page, and it ends ugly. Really good throw on the post, and we'll move on. All right, weird run right here for Jordan Mason. It looks like the right side A-gap was where he probably should have gone, but he runs right into the gap. You see, I mean, there is something here. He runs right into the gap where there's a defender, and he stopped short on his 3rd and 1, and eventually the 49ers have to rush out there and kick a field goal. Weird play. I'll also say that I hate the run call here, right? Because doing this pigeonholes you into kicking a field goal anyway because you have no timeouts left. All right, 13:07 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Let's dig into some all-22, okay? So we start off here. This isn't there. This isn't there. But if you were to work actually with the full field, and once again, Brock Purdy probably doesn't trust these receivers as much with Debo and Aiyuk out, but this right here to me could be thrown, but I understand him not trusting Bell from that Rams drop, and you do get some Brock Purdy magic here on this run. Now, one more thing that would have been interesting, I'm a little shocked that he decided to cut this way instead of cut a little bit more vertically through here, right? Or if you want to get really sexy here, the line of scrimmage is right here. If you pitch it right here to Mason, he's gone, right, for a tutty. But still, it's a good scramble for a first down. And it actually wasn't a first down. They did get a QB sneak, though, to pick it up. So let's actually run a play with actually someone that Brock Purdy trusts. A little split zone action here to George freaking Kittle. There's not many tight ends in the NFL you want over George Kittle in this spot. Maybe David Njoku, maybe Brock Bowers. But, man, George Kittle's so good after the catch. It's a really good tackle by Reed. And then Brock Purdy, for not being a big guy, really good QB sneak quarterback, right? So you're showing a puller, and you're also pulling this guard right here. What you're doing with these pullers is trying to get these linebackers to think that you're running a pitch to the left or a pitch to the right. It's a very creative way to run a QB sneak. And Brock gets in, okay? Had the defense fooled. Yeah, we get to 3rd and medium yet again. It's just bad quarterbacking. I understand not truly being comfortable with these receivers, but, man, this pocket is really good, and Brock just sails it, right? He has a little extra crow hop mixed into this throw. The pocket is absolutely immaculate, and this ball is just sailed. I'm thinking he's thinking that this receiver is actually drifting right here. Instead, he's working back towards the football, and man, the Ronnie Bell experience has just been atrocious. 3rd and 10, and George Kittle. Dude, it's going to be so hard not putting this guy into the Pro Football Hall of Fame when his career is all said and done. This is a long developing round, and he's got to come all the way over here and then run a post behind this other post. And look at the ball location. Look at the catch right here by George Kittle, and he's just short of the first down. Yeah, the biggest negative of Brock Purdy in this game was the deep ball accuracy just behind the interceptions, right? Not willing to take deeper shots as well was an issue for Brock, and this ball just needs to be thrown better. Now, we all know Brock Purdy's never going to be the prettiest thrower of the football, but you cannot throw behind the receiver here, okay? He's got to stop. That's a touchdown, and I say cannot. It's not bad. It's better than an overthrow per se, but you would like to see this Jacob Cowing ball to actually be a touchdown. All right, take it from someone that knows way more about football than I do, Brett Coleman, all right? He had a very interesting tweet about the 49ers. So much of their issues can be attributed to bad right tackle play. Now, you've had arguably, top 10 left tackle in the history of pro football on one side, and right tackle has just been a disaster. Karlaftis puts the right tackle here in a blender, and McDovitt, McLovin, whatever his name is, has had issues, okay? And Brock, this really isn't even open either. He's getting destroyed while he throws his football. Predetermines where he wanted to go with it anyway, and it's a pick. Now, George Kittle continues his great day. Once again, the 49ers, of course, are playing some prevent defense here. And, man, this is really good stuff by Kittle, finding a weak spot here, and it is a first down. And then, obviously, a big question for the 49ers moving forward. Can you get something out of Ricky Pearsall, okay? Of course, had the tragic thing happen to him this offseason, and now he's out here. Can he start making plays? This is where this would concern you, okay? This ball isn't perfectly thrown. It is slightly behind him. I need my first-round pick making this guy miss, okay? I need a first down in that spot. Don't get it. So later in the drive, you do get Ricky Pearsall again. Once again, this is very soft coverage. Man, Chris Jones gets a lot of penetration there, but because, everything's happening so quick, it's no big deal. I don't like giving up simple outs in a 2-minute drill, but still. And then eventually you get your second Brock Purdy sneak in here. Now, let's have an honest conversation about Brock in this game. 49ers 3-4. No one really expected them to be here. This was not good. My fellow Brock sexuals, like a few years ago on my NoOffSeason.com football card show, I was labeled a Brock Purdy hater with my co-host Sandy. And look, my evolution of becoming a bigger Brock fan has grown into me talking to myself that he could legitimately be a franchise quarterback, right? But, man, the games where he's not playing just absolutely bad teams have not looked all that great, right? The Patriots, we know what they are now. They are probably the worst coach team in football defensively. If you don't believe me, you can go watch my Jaguars film study from, earlier this week. But, man, it's not pretty. And I understand. Well, Carter, it's the Shanahan offense, and you really need your pieces out wide. Losing both Samuel and, of course, Brandon Aiyuk is the reason why this happened. Well, the guy on the other sideline has a medicine ball room of, I know I didn't say that smoothly at all, but it's a very hurt room in their own right. And look, I don't like excuses. Excuses are as pathetic as this onside kick. But look, whatever the case may be, Brock has got to play better. And that's where it gets very tricky. It is. Pow, out, NFL, boom. And tonight we are doing pizza subs. Let's go.